Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dr. Jason Jones back with another episode of Health Made Easy, and we are winding down our series on rebuilding better brains, brain degeneration, brain regeneration. And I'm going to cover a few things today. Going to use a couple of big words, but don't sweat it. I'm going to break them down. And we're going to be talking about neuroplasticity and neurogenesis, essentially strategies to regenerate the brain. Now, you might have believed that every brain stops developing after a certain age, but that's just simply not true. Studies have shown that the brain has the ability to perform and form new nerve pathways and create new nerve cells even as we grow older. This is achieved through a process called neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. So, neuroplasticity simply means the ability of the brain to regenerate both anatomically and functionally. So, when you suffer from brain disorders, injuries like traumatic brain injuries, concussions, or even degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, the brain plasticity helps to reduce the effect of altered structures. Now, might there be limits to that? Of course, but the brain does have the ability to do it. The brain is constantly changing, and the unique region of the brain called the hippocampus, which controls learning, memory, mood, can grow new brain cells throughout our lives. And this process called neurogenesis, it continues even into older age. Now, the rate of neuroplasticity and neurogenesis is affected by our lifestyle. In fact, there are many natural methods and strategies that help boost the regeneration of the brain. And I'm going to give you some now. And this is something that we've talked about a ton on this podcast. And the reality is, when something keeps coming up over and over and over and over and over again, it just tells us that we just need to pay closer attention to it. And this one, it should be no surprise: restorative sleep. And I think as we talk about sleep, we need to stop talking about sleep and talk about restorative sleep. Because if you're unconscious for 8 hours and you wake up and it wasn't restorative sleep, compared to sleeping 5 hours deeply and real restorative sleep, I'll take the 5 hours over the 8 any day of the week. Now, you may already know how refreshing it can be to get a good night's sleep, but it does go beyond that. Sleep is also very helpful in repairing and growing new brain cells and neurons. Now, when you don't sleep well or you have disrupted sleep, it impairs neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. So aim for 7 to 8 hours a night. If you find it hard to fall asleep, you can try different measures like, making your room darker, going to bed at a certain time. But here's another thing: restorative sleep affects your testosterone levels as well. They drop as we age with the less sleep that we get, which has a negative impact on our brains. Exercise is the next one. Exercise has huge benefits on the brain and the body. So when you engage in aerobic activities such as cycling, running, swimming, even sex, it can help boost brain regeneration. You might wonder how that's possible. Well, as you get your heart pumping, let's say for over 20 minutes at a time, and you form and you have a routine to use, several growth hormones are stimulated actually in the brain. Now, the increased endorphin production also helps reduce your stress level, something that could slow down, neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. So increased stress slows down the ability of the brain to rebuild itself. Now, here's another one. Try new environments. Studies have shown that activities like traveling, learning new skills or languages, puzzles, and making new social connections help stimulate the regeneration of the brain. The idea is to get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself mentally on a regular basis. This triggers new neuron growth and sustains those new brain cells to stay with you for a long time. Next one, meditation and prayer. When you practice meditation and or prayer, it helps both your mind and your body. Not only that, it supports neuroplasticity and neurogenesis by increasing hippocampal volume. So again, remember, the hippocampus is what controls learning, memory, and mood in helping you grow new brain cells throughout your life. So in addition to that it also affects gray matter density, which is like the big spaghetti looking part of your brain, and also melatonin levels. And melatonin also helps clear factors that restrict the growth of new neurons, including anxiety, stress, and depression. Next factor is intermittent fasting. This is like so hot right now. Everybody's talking about it. People are doing it. It's been going on for years. It's been practiced for thousands of years. It isn't new. It's just new to some folks. Many studies have shown that fasting or calorie restriction promotes neuron growth, improves cognitive function, and increases synaptic plasticity. Is there any reason why we have all these neurodegenerative disorders? Because folks are not fasting. They are not restricting calories by any stretch of the imagination. All you have to do is look around. I'm not making a judgment. I'm just pointing out facts, okay? And facts aren't judgment. They're just facts. During fasting, you have a shift in metabolism. It lowers the levels of leptin, which is a hormone produced by fat. This way, the brain receives a signal for neurons to to produce more energy. So you can try several popular methods. This is not all of them, but I'm going to give you several of them for intermittent fasting. Number one is a 16-hour fast, minimally a 12-hour fast, okay? Eating, let's say, for example, dinner at 8 p.m., and then you don't have your first meal until noon the next day. If you do a 12-hour fast, like you get up in the morning, you eat at 6 a.m., and your last meal is, let's say, 5:30 or 6, most of the time you're sleeping anyway, so you're sleeping most of the fast, is really a great and easy way to do it. Fasting for an entire 24-hour period periodically. Maybe that's once a month, once a quarter. Maybe for some people it's once a week. Doing a 5-2 model, which is eating for 5 days and restricting calories to 400 to 600 calories for 2 days in a non-consecutive manner, meaning maybe you'll do 3 days, you'll do a low calorie day, you'll do 2 days, you'll do a low calorie day, and then you'll just rinse and repeat. There's lots of ways to do it, but I can tell you this: if you want to live a long time, you want to have a high quality of life, you want to be a centenarian where you grow, where you become 100 years old. If that's a goal, a goal for you, you got to restrict calories because centenarians are typically extremely thin individuals. And are there examples where folks who are bigger make it? Yes, but they are not they're an exception to the rule. So try these out. Again, restorative sleep, exercise, try new things, meditation and prayer, and intermittent fasting, and see where that takes you. Hey, this is Dr. Jason Jones. We're on your side, trying to make you happier, healthier, but just trying to keep it as simple as we possibly can and easy as we possibly can by removing all of the complexity that's out there in the world on this health journey that we're all on. God bless you. Protect your brain, and we'll see you on the next podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.